All right, Blues, is the Donnarumma deal finally happening? What would that mean for Ortega and James Trafford? We will take a look at what Donnarumma potentially will bring to Man City. But first, let's take a look at what's currently going on. Fabrizio Romano has landed some things this week. Fair enough, it's the same shit over and over and over again. But I think there were a few promising developments that has been going on over the last 3 or 4 days. Let's take a look. So, Fab came in with this tweet. Man City are progressing in talks with Paris Saint-Germain for Gigio Donnarumma. First time I've heard him referred to as Gigio, by the way. The fee would be 30 to 35 million euros as PSG reduce initial 50 mil request. And Gigio is ready to join MCFC project. But he ends it with the same thing that has been said for about 3 weeks now. It all depends on Ederson exit with Galatasaray in talks, as always mentioned. So as we know, it all depends on Ederson going to Galatasaray. That's what we're being told for God knows how long now. How long? About 3 weeks. So it does depend on Ederson, but I'm hearing that Galatasaray are willing to pay what Man City want. So it looks like it could be just a matter of time. But then Fab came in with this one. Major breaking. An agreement between Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain regarding the signing of Gianluigi Donnarumma is now very close for a fee of around 30 to 35 million euros. So it is stepping up. So for me, this deal is pretty much done. It's done. Personal terms agreed, fee with PSG agreed, but as always, it depends on Ederson. So what's happening with Ederson? Let's take a look. There is still plenty of work for Ederson to Galatasaray to be done. Man City have spoken to PSG about signing Gianluigi Donnarumma, yet that deal can only start to move if Ederson leaves. Stefan Ortega was told he could leave when Man City signed James Trafford. So that doesn't tell us that much, really, does it? If Ortega was said he could go when we signed Trafford, and he's still here. So I wouldn't look too much into that. But it does seem that finally Ederson and Galatasaray can come together like that. So when this deal finally happens, if indeed it does, what will Donnarumma bring to Man City? What are his stats like from last year? Do they compare to Ederson? Some people say Donnarumma is crap with his feet, but most people say he's a better shot stopper than Ederson. So I thought, let's take a look and see. So here we have per 90-minute stats in League One. He had a 67% save percentage, which is 48 saved from 72 shots. Now, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. You're rarely going to see a keeper hitting over 70, 75% save percentage in this modern game. Also, he has 0.9 conceded per 90, 21 goals in 24 games. Not bad, not great. Somewhere in the middle, I would say that is. 17% clean sheets, 4 clean sheets in 24 games. I think that stat is more on the defence as a unit, because if you have a shit defence that leaves the keeper exposed, keeper will then face more shots, keeper will then inevitably concede more goals. But this one's intriguing. 22.25 passes per 90. That's quite a lot, isn't it? I mean, I'm not 100% sure on how PSG play from the back. I didn't really see a lot of them, but I think That's quite good. I like that. And then we have his passing chance create. I mean, he's not going to create chances, let's be real. But I thought this was an interesting stat that pretty much debunks something that a lot of people put on Donnarumma. I've seen loads of people say, oh, Donnarumma, he's not good with his feet. He won't be anything like Ederson. But look at this, you know, 495 passes. That's good. Successful passes, 425 out of 495. That's good. Look at his pass completion rate, 85.86%. That is well above average. So I was actually really shocked by this. And to be honest, I like it. Get him in to the Stade d'Etihad. So statistically, Donnarumma is right up there with the likes of Ederson. The only problem is I'm not 100% sure Donnarumma has that. Sometimes he loses it, but I think that's a good thing for a goalkeeper. They don't Goalkeepers need to be nutters. When a corner comes in or a cross, goalkeepers need to be like, fucking hell, that's mine! Keepers! And I feel Donnarumma will bring that. We love that. So them stats were quite shocking, weren't they? 85 point somewhat, whatever it was, percent pass completion. I mean, most of them are probably just little 5, 10 yard passes, but that's what Pep loves. Pep loves his keeper to start knocking it about around the back four. So I think we will be in good, safe hands. But what does all this goalkeeper talk mean for the likes of Trafford and Ortega? It's going to be interesting to see what develops between those two. Ortega is a strange one. I don't know what is going on there. Why is there not loads of clubs after him? He's a top quality goalkeeper that, in my opinion, is good enough for any Premier League team. But he probably won't start for Liverpool. He might not, he might even start for Chelsea. Probably won't start for Arsenal, but he certainly will start for everyone else. Man United. I hate to say this, but I think he'd be perfect for Man United. So I don't know what's happening with Ortega. I don't know if he doesn't want to leave, or I don't know if it has too much of a high wage demand that are putting clubs off. But I think he could go out on loan for a year, and then after that, put himself in the shop window again. But what does this mean for James Trafford? You know, it's an interesting one because obviously Pep really wants him. He brought him back. He's given him the number one shirt. He started the first two Premier League games. So it's an interesting one. If Donnarumma walks in, will Trafford still play over him? I very much doubt it. I very much doubt it. But that they're two good, solid options to have. Donnarumma and Trafford. Trafford will only get better. And I think for Trafford, I think when he signed for the club, I think he was aware that he's not going to be number one for the entire season. Pep, he would have chose Ederson over Trafford if Ederson was to stay. I know he hasn't yet, but I do think the majority of the games will be Ederson. And if we sign Donnarumma, the majority of the games will be Donnarumma. But I still think Trafford's in a great place. Like I said, he's only going to improve. He'll play all the cup games. He'll play Premier League games here and there. He might even play Champions League, the league stage. You know what it's called now? League stage. You might play them as well. So the one that's losing out of all of this madness is Ortega, really, isn't it? So what do you think is going to happen then? Ederson, Donnarumma, Ederson, Donnarumma. It's going to go right down to the last second of deadline day, isn't it? Like 11:59, and Ederson and Galatasaray finally come together, and then free Donnarumma. I don't even know what is Donnarumma doing now. Is he like just sat in a private jet, like just give me the fucking green light? Fucking hell, Ederson, what's going on? Are you happy with this Donnarumma news? Do you want that, or do you want to keep Ederson? Do you think we're better off with Ederson? Some people, I've seen a lot of people backing him over Donnarumma. I have. What are your thoughts on Ortega? Is he just going to stay? I mean, he's behind Edison, he's behind Trafford, he'll be behind Donnarumma. He might even be behind Bettinelli. He might. Or do you think Trafford can make a claim for that number one spot and be our actual number one keeper rather than number one keeper with number one on the back? So drop your thoughts, let me know. Let's have a discussion about this. All Blues. Let's create a goalkeeper space. What do we want? What's going to happen? All right, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. I will be back at the end of the week for my Brighton preview. What's going to happen there? What about the team selection? Everyone wanted Pep to drop the Unks against Spurs, and he did. And did it work? No, it didn't work. So what's going to happen? Is he going to mix and match it up a bit? Who knows? Take care. Bye.